I just want to say that, I wasn't born here. I've lived all the way from Alberta to Ontario out to the East Coast, and I've never really had that identity, that black identity that's strong with me as you guys have here in Scotia with your community. And to see it and be a part of it is real something powerful, so be proud of that. Yeah. There is an intense, unassuming, and curious power in saying no. Yet most of us were conditioned to say yes, comply, avoid conflict, hold the weight for someone else, keep the peace just for now, while the things we wish we would have said become a ruminating sound. Others grew more from reluctant yeses, learning the language of their gut instinct, prioritizing their own fulfillment, disrupting false beliefs of peace when it's needed, and burning down the structures that deceived us of the way things should be, so that life can be gained, and we can aim higher than what was built for the so-called free. What do you believe in that is restricted in the mold of which you've grown? See, wishful thinking floats like daydreams while reality calls me home, because somewhere along the way we learn exactly where we fit, though we're not all content with the boxes they put us in. A little girl, a little boy, need to learn and need to play, who to trust and who to not, need to fail and conquer shame. Do I fit? Do I not? Do I stand out amongst the top? What is worthy? What's expected? And who's to say that I cannot? I am telling y'all, there is an intense, unassuming, and subtle power in saying no. Take Miss Viola Desmond, say her name, give her presence. Her existence was defined of all that was recommended. Now we glorifying an icon, a ripple that hasn't ended. The legacy of a life dedicated to a fight to be scripted as a testament. Her spirit was too powerful, so they charged her for her righteousness. Oh no, not I, she said. At least I imagine. She persisted. You won't question my beauty, man, my skin is glorious, and I'm built with confidence, just simply watching it grow through injustice and pain that was caught. The baggage of freedom bestowed upon skeptical souls with a blemish that had to be fought. I squeeze and I tense as if this heinous smog fills my lungs. Every time I bite my tongue, every time I look at closed doors as a battle to be won, every time I need to shapeshift to a spirit that isn't mine, just to ensure my safety doesn't linger too closely to the line, and my window of opportunity doesn't somehow shrink in size because my climb only goes so high. Approach the trail, hold the torch, feel the heat your ancestors endured. It still burns, though it's just not as bright. Clasped hands and bent knees lose the faith and relief, throwing our fears into the dark of the night, hoping that he who holds all is there to listen. Anguished mothers and fathers give their lives to their children. Anger for all you couldn't change, tears for feeling helpless, separated from the norm of useful outlets meant to help us, and so it's just expressed in other ways, or buried deep, to the point where we can't tell if who we buried was a real me. And so my question is, how, Miss Desmond? Where did you find the courage to balance holding inner peace and creating relentless disruption, to dedicate your life to something that was much bigger than yourself, even if that meant it would change all the dreams you might have had? See, there's a naturally occurring cycle turning victims into helping hands. Money doesn't just fix everything. You're on the outside looking in, so show up, sit down, and take the time to understand. Effective Business Leadership 101 says, value global perspectives. In a lost translation, it means public sympathy will yield public affection. See, empathy is much different. Could you imagine for a minute you were the one that never made it? To have to fight and die alone, just so glory could reach the next generation? What would you need if equal opportunities were remotely out of reach? No matter where you went, the walls closed in, limiting all you could achieve, because your skin tone speaks too loudly for comfort. An uncontrollable attribute becomes your only introduction. Black is bad, watch for danger, keep an eye out for deception. A sustained judgment of character has all the gatekeepers infected, man. The game is just not the same. So this battle won't be in vain. We'll hold the torch high and strong, so that no child will be in disbelief of the power that they own. And when we finally surpass this debt and a family's building black wealth, anytime I step into a place I don't belong, I'll say I only carry Desmonds.